Hi Aries, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carole and this is going to be a general reading for you for March 2026. And if you're new to my channel, I want to welcome you and I hope you subscribe and also comment below and let me know how you found me and if the reading resonated with you. And if you're returning for another time, I hope you've subscribed and I want to thank you for supporting this channel. This channel is, I think, 2 years old, so we're still a youngish channel. And if some of you know me, you know that I am a survivor of sexual abuse and trafficking, and I have complex PTSD, and I have been healing intensively for 9 years with a trauma coach. And in 2020, I started Carole Cares, and it was a place where I wanted people to come to get help for their own mental health struggles. And so I have a website called carolecares.com. I have a YouTube channel, Carole Cares, and on that channel I have a lot of self-help videos around emotions and journaling and how to ground yourself and lots of information on there. And then I also offer personal readings for you, tarot readings, if you're interested. And the link is in my description box below. And it's also in the, kind of blanking out what I want to say. It's in the description box below and in the comment section. And also, I mean, it's all on my website, Carole Cares. And I'm also a shamanic healer. And shamanism, besides my tarot, was another gift that came to me from working through layers and layers of trauma. And so I do shamanic healing distance right now. Soon, hopefully, to be doing it in person. And so if you're interested in a personal reading or a distance healing, I would love to do either one of those for you. So there is a 15-minute consultation if you like. It's free, and that, again, the link for that is below. And I won't bother you after that, I promise. It's just to see if we're a good fit and talk to you a bit about what you're working through. And then, yeah, we'll go from there. So we're going to do a reading right now, and we're going to look at a pattern. And so I will often look at patterns. It is my way of knowing what needs healing, because the universe will poke at us by saying, here's the pattern, shows up again and again, and you swore that, you know, you're never going to do this is never going to happen to you again, and then it happens. And it's like this tower moment comes in and the universe goes boom, you know, like pay attention to this pattern, because the patterns in our life tell us where the healing needs to take place. And especially, you know, the ones that have the big emotions around them. And so we're going to look at, in part one, what pattern in your life is showing up right now. And then I'm going to look at, you know, what is the part that needs healing? And that's the part that's sitting in your unconscious. That's the part that's sitting in your shadow. It's the part that is going to be driving this pattern. There's something in there from your childhood, your adolescence, that you need to heal. And then finally, I'm going to get some advice from the tarot as to how you can begin to heal this pattern. It's going to be, this is a journey, our healing journey, so it's not going to be something, a quick fix, but it'll definitely get you off in the right direction. And then I'll offer you some videos from carolecares.com, from Carole Cares, the YouTube channel, my other YouTube channel. And those are going to really be focused on helping you with how to take this advice, and it'll show you what you need to do. So let's begin. I'm going to be using the Tarot of the Abyss, and then I'm going to clarify with the Tarot AE Weight. So let's start off, Aries, with what pattern in your life is showing up for healing right now. And I'd like one card for what pattern is showing up in Aries' life for healing right now in this month of March. There we go. You have the Two of Cups. That's a beautiful Two of Cups. What aspect from your shadow is driving this pattern? One card for that. You have the Five of Swords. And that was sideways when it eventually was falling there. What advice does the tarot have for you to begin to heal this pattern? You have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. All right, let's get some clarifiers. So, Two of Cups card for the couple of cards for the Two of Cups. You have the Hierophant card, as well as the King of Wands in reverse. Five of Swords, and this is your shadow. This is what needs healing. This is what keeps driving, poking, you know, this. Here's this pattern coming up again. This is what needs healing. Couple cards for you to clarify this Five of Swords. Oh, almost. One more card. There we go. Three of Swords. Knight of Pentacles. Couple cards for that card. Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, you have the Eight of Swords and the Three of Cups. Trying to get my readings done, so I'm doing them at night. All right, so what pattern in your life is showing up for healing right now for you, Aries? You start off with the Two of Cups, and the Two of Cups talks about this intimate relationship right here, very vulnerable because they're quite intertwined here. And it's the number 2, so it's, you know, the beginning of the pip cards of the suit of cups. And cups has everything to do with our emotions. And this particular card doesn't talk about an intimate relationship with someone else. It talks about the intimate relationship that you have with self. And in order to have an intimate relationship with yourself, you need to be very much in your body. You need to go inwards, right? And start to, you know, ground yourself, learn how to ground yourself, and start to, you know, feel some of these emotions around you. But I'm thinking that it's coming up here because it's like there's a call here for you to go inwards and start this finding out who you are. Because when we're called to have an intimate relationship with ourselves, we're called to get to know ourself more. And so this is coming up for you again. It's like it's time for you to find out who you are, to get to know yourself more. And for a lot of people, it's scary to find out who they really are. They think they know who they are, or they don't bother. They would go through life distracted and dissociated, and, you know, don't ever get to find out who we really are. But underneath it, you have this Hierophant card, and this is what's going on here. This is a major arcana card. So this is the universal force that's really acting on this Two of Cups. It's in reverse here because I don't think you are aware of this card, you're in denial about this. And so the Hierophant card speaks about these two individuals below here. They're like sponges listening to this papal figure right here. They're just taking it all in. And so I want you to picture yourself as a child when you were, you listened to these people around you, you took everything in. And so when we are young and we take everything in from people around us, we form this opinion of who we are. We're like sponges, right? And so we grow up and we become this person that's not really us because it's formed around opinions of other people. And so you're in denial because you don't realize that the opinion that you have of yourself is actually a bunch of lies. It's the way that you were wired when you were younger. Who were you wired to be? Who were you wired to be? And I think that's why there's this call for you to get intimate with yourself, because the person that you think you are is not who you are. And then you have the King of Wands here that's sitting here behind it in reverse. And the King is our masculine side. We all have a masculine side and a feminine side. And, the whole point of the Fool's Journey in the tarot is to balance those two sides out. That we have, we can be more feminine or more masculine. It has nothing to do with your gender, but there's a real need here, I think, to get into your body so you can get in touch with that feminine side, which is your emotions. It's who you are, your authenticity. Because right now, the person that's leading the show is your ego self. It's the one that's taking you, the wand is all about your purpose and who you are. And I just finished saying that you don't really know who you are because your ego self, which is your masculine side, has you convinced that you're a certain person and you're a certain way. But there's this real need now for you to get into your body and discover, you know what? This is not you. And most of us are in this situation where it's like, this isn't you. And so there's been something, this pattern that's coming up here, that something has happened. And it's like, you need to get vulnerable with yourself. It's time to you go inwards because you need to get to know yourself. And so what happened to you when you were younger that you got out of touch of who you were? We start off with the Five of Swords here. And it's sideways. Because, I think this is where, sideways says there's like a state of confusion. You don't know if it's up and you don't know if it's down. And so when you were younger, you very much were confused about who you were. And this card will explain everything. Look at this situation where this child has been left alone a lot. Maybe that's your situation, but this child is alone. And it's, they're kind of bored and they're just kind of, he's going to take this, he's thinking about, there's this butterfly in this jar and, maybe he's sitting there kind of saying, what's going to happen if I prick this butterfly with this pin? Will I kill it? Maybe I'll just try to, poke the wing of the butterfly. It's kind of like these things, these thoughts that are going through your head. When you're younger, you get all these thoughts that go through your head, and you start to go into this fantasy world sometimes and start to make these things up about yourself. Well, this Five of Swords is really a card that talks about, bullying and people saying things to you, bullying you and telling you things about yourself that you believed. And that's what this whole beginning part was right here, this pattern that's coming up. It's saying you need to look at how you were wired, what you believe about yourself. I'm going to say you were bullied when you were younger. And because you were bullied and controlled and people told you things about you that weren't true, you were confused. Because when we're really, really young, 4, 5, 6 years old, we knew who we were. And then people started telling you things. Hey, listen, you got a tail growing behind you. Have you ever looked before? And you know damn well you don't have a tail behind you, but if somebody tells you you got one, you're going to start believing it, right? And so people told you things and over, and you're going to start believing it. And you know, there was no rest for you from these comments. This card talks about getting rest, taking time out for yourself. But this is in your childhood. There was no rest for you. These comments just came. This bullying came, and there was like, nobody let up. And this is where the pain came in. The Three of Swords. Swords is that mental thoughts, those things we have about ourselves. And so I think you continue to spin in your head, because when we live up in our head, our ego will continue to spin, will continue to tell us these things so we believe them. Oh, you're ugly. Oh, you're no good. Oh, you can't do this. Who do you think you are? All these things that were told to you when you were younger, people said to you these hurtful, hurtful things. And this is where it came from. And so this is how you develop these lies about who you were. And it's time now that says, you know, it's time that you get intimate with yourself and you start to realize that this person that you believe you are, it's not you. It's not you. And so where do you go with this? Like, how do you start to heal this? What advice does the tarot have for you? Well, the first one is this Knight of Pentacles. Very, very powerful card for you to get. The knights in my deck are what I call my freedom fighters. It's the adolescent part of you that is tired of being controlled. It's the adolescent part of you that wants freedom from this pain that you're feeling, that you're sitting here feeling. I mean, it's a lot of pain to have to live with the belief of someone that you're not, because you were told all these painful things when you were younger. The pentacle here is our body. And so the knight here holds this body, and the body holds our truth, and the body holds our emotions. And the most critical aspect of self-love is grounding. And in order to love yourself, you must embody yourself. That means you have to be in your body. This card opened up. This Two of Cups said, it's time for you to get so intimate with yourself and find out who the hell you are. But in order to do that, you have to go inwards. And in order to go inwards, you got to get back in your body, because your King of Wands here, your ego self, is controlling, like I said, who you are. It keeps on saying these things about who you are, but it's not true. And so this part of you, I'm going to say that there's some real ungrounded anger right here. You need to start by getting angry at these people when you were younger that told you these lies that are not true. And it's time for you to get angry at them. And so, because this is where it's got you. Look at all those swords right there. See all those swords that people told you? They've tied you all up into believing that you're this kind of person and that you can't do certain things. You're not allowed to do certain things. Maybe you've dreamt about doing something all your life. Maybe you've wanted to do something so badly, but you know that in the back of your mind you're hearing, you can't do this. Who do you think you are? It's impossible. You don't have the money. What are you doing? What are you thinking? And this is you all tied up, because every single one of these swords are the things, those mental thoughts that people told you that you continue to believe and spin on in your head. But you know, you can get free. This person thinks they're all tied up. But look at the water here. That's your emotions. You've got some emotions to feel, and you will free yourself up when you start to get angry, because that's your power. That's your self-love, is to learn how to get angry in a grounded way. Here's your Three of Cups, a beautiful feminine card. And I talked about the masculine and the feminine side that we have. Well, here's your and I said, you know, how your masculine side, your ego, is controlling you and controlling your direction. Well, you end with this beautiful, powerful three feminine figures celebrating who you are, celebrating the feminine side of you, your emotions. Your emotions are going to set you free. feeling your emotions, going inwards, grounding yourself, feeling your emotions. That's going to set you free. I'm going to leave 2 playlists with you. I'm going to leave the my playlist on anger. So important to learn how to journal from your anger, because that's going to ground that anger, and it's going to bring in some real power for you so that you can take your life in the direction you're meant to always go in. And I'm going to leave you with another playlist on learning how to ground yourself so you can get back in your body, right? And feel some of that anger. And so I want you to have compassion with yourself, Aries, for what you're working through. This is a very difficult journey, but it's the most important journey of your life. So take care, and I'll talk soon. Bye.